Hi, welcome to my next write-up. This write-up is on a HackTheBox machine. This machine is a Postman and the IP is 10.10.10.160. So technically this is my second HackTheBox write-up, but this is the first you'll see because the other machine is still active. So this machine is Linux and let's get started. Alright, so over here I've already did the nmap scans beforehand because I thought it would take too long to do a live demonstration. So basically you do nmap-a with the IP address and you get the open ports. So on top of that, what I normally will do is I will launch a scan, slightly more detailed scan right after the first one, just to make sure that it catches all ports. So you see over here that yes, indeed we have caught one more port, which is Redis. So it's not actually here. Alright, but let's just start with the initial analysis. So basically we have port 22 SSH open, which implies that we may have a SSH kind of vulnerability or something involved somewhere. Not a vulnerability, but maybe like you can get a private user's private key and you can log in and something along the lines. So you also get a port 80 HTTP and as well as a port 10,000 webmin version 1.910. So over here we can use this to check if an exploit is available for this particular version of webmin. Right, so over here I've already opened up the web pages. I've already done the challenge and hence I know that port 80, it's basically kind of a rabbit hole. There wasn't much, or rather I didn't rely on any information here. But it'd be good to know if like someone actually found some information from here, then use it. So normally what you can do is with a port 80 you can actually run a debuster just to make sure there's some hidden directories and things like that. So we'll move on over to webmin. So there's username and password, but we don't have any. So maybe we need more enumeration first to fill up these fields. Yep. So but we can search for the version number. So webmin 1.910. So webmin 1.910, and we're not even done yet, and the exploit, the autofill is already out. So yes, there seems to be a vulnerability for this version, and it's a package update, and it's in Metasploit. Fantastic. So trying to reduce my reliance on Metasploit, but not there yet. So we can just go into MSF console. So start up Metasploit. Right, over here it's starting up. Okay, so over here you can use this Metasploit function, which is search, and to search for a particular service like webmin or like SMB, things like that. So you search for webmin, and over here we have the package update remote code execution. So just copy this and use this exploit, show options. Right, so we have the password, the R host, which we have, the username, which you don't have. L host will be ourselves. And remember to set SSL to true in this case. So we still don't have a lot of things, so probably we can't do our initial foothold from here. So over here we take a look at this Redis. Looks interesting. So what we can do is actually we can test first. So I've already logged in here, but I'll explain more on this in detail later. So there's this thing called Redis CLI, and then you can enter the IP address -h. So let me check my syntax again. Redis CLI. Actually, it's here. Right, so basically how it works is something like I would compare it to maybe like anonymous FTP authentication. So basically you can connect to it without without authentication, and then if in this, for this particular vulnerability, you basically upload your own private SSH key, and you can actually SSH into the machine. So the exploit script is over here. I took from this guy from GitHub. What it does is it basically is a Python script. It generates the keys for you, it stores it in your directory, right? And then they will use the SSH key and then with a username plus an IP address, and they will log into that user, which most of the time is Redis, right? So right here, let's just search Redis CLI commands, or like connect command. Alright, it's dash H first, I believe. Right, so we are in. There's some enumeration you can do here, like I believe getting server info. Not very good with Redis. This is my first time with Redis. Yeah, I believe it's the info command, right? Yep, it's the info. So just do info and yeah, you'll get information. We are in. So the information didn't really help you much, but at least it shows you that yes, you can connect to Redis without authentication. So over here, what we do next is we run this guy's exploit. Alright, so we run his exploit and we get connected into Redis and Postman. So just to confirm, it's disconnected again. This box, not too sure why. Maybe because of this Redis flush all thing, it is a bit more unstable, and yeah, and I think there's quite a lot of resets going on with this machine. Alright, we have finally gotten the initial foothold into Redis. So just do a who am I. Took some time for me to get back into the machine. So yeah, you didn't see it because I cut off the videos of those parts. I mean, yep. So just bring the working directory and then do a ls-la. So over here you can see some of the things. .bash history included. So probably always good to just look at the bash history of that guy. Should be quite interesting. So over here you see switch user to mat. There's a scan.py, we don't know what it does. There seems to be a sshd config as well. id rsa.back. So what we can do is we can try to locate id rsa.back. So we see over there. If not, manual enumeration is fine as well. Always try a few directories, which I will cover later. You can try to cat this sshd config as well. So yeah, let's just cat this. Alright, so over here we can take a look at the configuration for SSH. Let's just see if there's anything that looks weird. So everything looks fine. But over here we see a deny users, we see deny users met, which means that probably even if you get his SSH key and we can't modify the SSH daemon, right? So we probably can't log in using met through SSH. But anyway, let's go to the opt directory and then just ls just cat the id rsa.back file, and then over here we get a private key. Copy that out. I've already done that. So what you can do is it's an encrypted private key. So we'll touch on more on that later. So normally when you reach this stage, you can try to ls. It's taking some time. What you can do is you can actually go to the home directory as well. Sometimes there may be some improper permissions, misconfigured permissions and things like that. So you can cd to mat and ls We'll just do ls-la. So you can see that for mat, actually you can see user.txt here already. But the problem is it's only read write to him and his group. And if we try to cat user.txt, it will fail because we are now Redis. So we can also try to take a look at the etc group. Over here, look at the mat, but yeah, Redis is not in the group mat, so nothing much. So basically just copy out the private key and we'll get a bit here. So we'll just exit this. So what we'll do next actually is to convert using SSH to John the SSH key to a hash format. So let's just delete this. Oops. Delete. So I can give a demonstration for this. So cd to desktop, SSH to .py, and then just supply the SSH key. And then they'll convert it into a format that John can pass. So over here, let's just what happened? So just copy this out and then just like create a new file like postman user SSH hash, and then save it, then exit. And just to make sure it's saved properly, it's over there. That's right, everything's correct. So next, what you can do is you can do John -- word list. It's a bit laggy though. USR, and then like if you can't remember the path, just go back up and check. So it's like /USR share word list. Yep, and rocky.txt is over here. So just copy this out. And then rocku.txt. And then with the hash over here. So just let John crack it. Alright, over here we've gotten the password computer 2008. Alright, so we have already seen that mat is denied, right? But we can definitely try again. So over here, Redis, yeah, we probably have no more use for this user. So let's just exit. So we could try SSH, mat at 10.10.10.160 with the identity file of postman user SSH, and then the passphrase computer 2008. But the connection is closed. So why? Because as we've seen earlier, it's denied. The user is denied. So my bad, I have to log back in through Redis. Right, and over here, as we have seen earlier, what we can do is we can switch user to mat, and they ask for the password. Do we have the password? We only have one password that had computer 2008, so we should try that. Oh, and we're in as mat at postman now. So just to make sure again, who am I? You are mat, definitely mat. So now we can cd to his home directory /mat, and then just cat user.txt. And there we go, we have the flag for user.txt. Just probably put it here first. And then, okay, so how do we get to root? This webmin we have seen earlier is actually a exploit that gives you root privileges. So what we will do now is using what we have, or rather we can actually just try to log in through admin first, just to make sure that it works. This is just to validate and to make sure that it's not a problem with the exploit. So we can definitely log in through Matt. This guy reuses his passwords, so the exploit should work. So over here we can set the password to computer 2008. Set the R host to 10.10.10.160, and then the SSL, remember to change it to true. What else? The username. So you set the username as Matt. Right, and then our host is ourselves. So just do it ifconfig. Get this IP, and then set our host as this, and then just run the exploit. So command shell 1 open, just type a shell and it will try to pop out a shell for you. So I think for this machine, the hard part was more on the initial foothold Redis, because firstly your nmaps, normal nmap scan wouldn't have detected it. You need to be more specific, the port numbers. That's one. Another thing is the Redis exploitation is actually quite unstable, I feel, in my opinion. There's like it's a hit and miss, I think, and also there's like quite a lot of users on this machine. So other than that, once you get in, if you look at the bash history, you know that the user man exists, and if you think along the lines of like password reuse and things like that, which is quite common, it's pretty easy to get a how I put it, like to get user and thereafter root as well. If a root is took about maybe 10 minutes for me just to figure out everything based on what I have. So just do who am I, you are root, then after that print working directory. Okay, we are not exactly there, but you can just cat root, it's not interactive shell, and then root.txt, and over here we get a hash for root as well. Yeah, and I think that is about it for this machine. Just a summary, this is the Postman machine. I would say Redis, difficult and new for me, but other than that the rest of the machine was manageable. So that's it for this Hack the Box Postman write-up. If you like the write-up, do subscribe, do like the video. Hope to do more write-ups in the future. See you around.